Pretty big news drop today on Microsoft's part. Essentially, they have a music streaming service that used to be Xbox Music. They rebranded it to Groove a couple years ago to try and be, get that hip crowd, get those people who didn't want Xbox Music over to try Groove. It didn't work, and it's shutting down officially on the 31st of December. This is a pretty big deal. So, first major concern, obviously, a lot of people invested in Groove Music, and luckily those people will be refunded. They will be refunded come December 31st for any time remaining in their subscriptions, and they are still able to download all of their music and their playlists and stuff that they've created until the service shuts down. So if you want to keep all your music that you've bought, just make sure to download it onto your computer, Xbox, whatever, just to make sure you keep the music. And of course, they need to do something, so they are partnering up with Spotify, so you can merge your accounts over to Spotify and keep everything that way. Just Groove is no longer going to exist, but they are trying to make sure to make this as seamless of a transition as possible over to Spotify. Now, that's all the good stuff. Let's talk about the bad stuff, right? So, Microsoft, they actually have a bit of a track record when it comes to just straight up canceling stuff. This image, I think, really sums it up perfectly. Essentially, in this image, the user is basically talking about how he's got a huge collection of movies and TV, and he was a Groove Music Pass subscriber for years. He buys all his movies from Microsoft, and he's worried that his digital library is eventually going to be killed off and never be able to be downloadable again. He mentions what I was just talking about. He bought a Kinect that was killed off. He bought a ton of content for Kinect Fitness, which was killed off. Project Spark, killed off. Several Windows phones, which were killed off. Surface RTs were killed off. Microsoft Bands, killed off. And he mentions a bunch of other Microsoft-related products that have been prematurely shut down. This is definitely a concern for many, myself included, because Microsoft and their track record, I mean, how can we trust any of their services to remain online at this point? I mean, they say that they're determined to keep Xbox and their content like that online for the foreseeable future, but I mean, when stuff like this happens, I mean, your digital library is forfeit if they ever decide to shut any of that down. So it's a real big concern. I'm not saying Microsoft is going to shut down Xbox or anything like that. I'm just saying, what happens if they do? Because a lot of people are going to be pretty pissed, and that's why I don't download digitally if I can help it. I try to collect physical as much as possible, because if anything does ever happen to these services, at least I have the disc and can still, excuse me, I at least have the disc and can still, re-download the games or, whatever I need to do, especially since these file sizes are so large. You can only fit like 10, 15 games on your console at a time. It just, this is why a lot of people are advocating against DRM, because anytime anytime a business deal goes bad or anytime money's tight, a switch is flipped and your content's gone. So let me know what you guys think down below about all this. I'm definitely kind of worried, but trying not to get too down, but I mean, this is definitely something important to talk about. So let me know what you guys think down below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay classy, guys.